Hello everybody, my name is Connor and I am here with Nanami versus Daki and Gyutaro. We are going to start it off. I like going first on the Nanami Sukuna deck. I feel like it just gives me a lot of aggression. So we're working on our energy line. We are going to tap a 1 to play our Nanami, put him safely in the back line so that we can use our special when we see it. And yeah, it looks like my opponent is going to play, I believe that is lower 2, and Daki, if I'm not mistaken, that might be lower 4 actually, one of the lower demons that probably does something when sidelined. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a UG. You guys can see we got UG, we got Sukuna, we have things, we just need to get going on our energy. So I'm going to actually drop Maki on the front line. Trying to decide what I want to trash, and this one is actually, I have a lot of raids in my hand and it is pretty early game, so I'm not really looking for that Nanami, but the Gojo, that's pretty nice. So I am going to go ahead and take the Gojo. He gives me my double energy, and we are going to pass with 2 energy and a Maki up front to protect us just in case my opponent decides to play some demons forward. And this is my opponent's first time playing the Demon Sibling deck. It is his brother's deck, and he's a yellow Demon Slayer player, and we've all been bullying him to play something else. So, unfortunately, he drew, and he does not have anything to get him to 3 energy. So we are going to take advantage of that and capitalize on that, unfortunately. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like that UA is a one-round game. I feel like there's a lot of luck in UA, but you know what can you do? We used to do best of 3, but it took a long time, so we've switched to 1. And with the Maki in the backline, we are going to go ahead and keep Sukuna, but drop the UG. We are going to go ahead and domain expansion, restanding 2 AP, playing a UG up front, just raw, and then playing Sukuna and raiding Sukuna to the front, making sure I'm trying to do the math in my head to make sure I have enough energy to do that. We are going to draw 2 with Sukuna, and we are going to discard the rare battle UG. Probably should have discarded the less fancy one, honestly. But no fingers yet in trash, so we are going to go ahead and just swing that 4, getting a draw trigger off of the Purge, if I'm not mistaken. And then swinging the 15 and getting a color trigger. My opponent, unfortunately, doesn't have anything to pull out of his trash off the color trigger. So that is going to be turn, and we are going to go ahead and pass. We've already established quite a board. We're at 4 energy because of the Gojo. As you guys can see, I do have that energy counter or tracker on my Playmat, 1000noble.com, to get your own. I do custom ones, as well as I'll be releasing some more designs, specifically sword art and full metal for sure, probably Black Clover too, obviously. But he's gonna go ahead and play, I believe that's Warbind in the back of his field, getting him an extra energy. It's basically Daki tapping 1 more AP there. Looks like he's going to play something down, and yeah, play, I think that's Gyutaro right there. Gets the opportunity to search. I believe there's a lot of cards that search, and the Daki Gyutaro interaction, really interesting. I did play this deck once before. I'll post a icon to it if I remember, or a link down below, just so you guys can see the cards a little bit better. And then 1 more AP that's going to tap, and I think he's going to go ahead and play the Muzan's Blood to restand 2 AP. That is his equivalent of the domain expansion that we just played. Tapping 1, he is going to, I think it's called Flying Blood Sickle, his special, to remove my Sukuna. Pretty unfortunate, but on the plus side, I have really grown to love the color trigger Nanamis that are in my deck, and this helps them come online. So the second AP going to be tapped. I think he's going to go ahead and purge the lower demon in the back, allowing him to sideline a demon, drawing 2 cards off of that, and then the demon he sidelined, I believe, lets him draw another. And with the purge, he gets to restand the AP, so he's really getting a lot of value this turn. He was about a turn behind, though. We really were able to capitalize on the turn where he couldn't play, where he didn't have that extra energy to get him to 3. But overall, I feel like we are doing pretty well, and there is the Gyutaro. That raid is terrifying. I will do my best to remember to put a picture up. Actually, it looks like I'm going to read it here. So I believe I'll put his picture up. He's pretty good. The main thing that concerned me was if he wins a battle, he gets to restand. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take this hit, and hey, look at that. There is my color trigger Nanami. While my opinion, the blue color trigger is okay at best, I really do like that Nanami. I feel like he helps me mill my deck so much. And I mean, overall, I feel like purple has the best color trigger. I'd be interested what you guys think, but yeah, a little tough. I'm gonna tap 1 to draw. We draw into another Gojo, which is pretty good. We can play down the Gojo if we wanted, just to make sure we're always at 4 energy. But I feel like we don't necessarily need it. We are gonna play the Yuji domain expansion. I feel like I didn't need to domain expansion this. But I am gonna go ahead and draw with Sukuna, and we get one of our Sukuna's fingers, our special Sukuna finger. Very, very beautiful deck. I love this deck. And we are gonna just go ahead and play on another raw raid Renji, Jesus. I was playing against a lot of purple raid Renji or Renji Rush this weekend, but the raid Yuji, Sukuna is gonna hit and get a final, and Yuji's gonna hit and actually get a raid trigger, which is going to allow my opponent to possibly raid with Daki next turn. So having Daki and Gyutaro on your field, really good. And yep, there comes a Warbine there to get a little bit more energy. I believe that's the card's name. It's the 0 cost that says it can be treated as Daki. I feel like her name's Warbine. I'm probably saying it wrong. And there is another Gyutaro. Letting him draw some cards. You know, I wonder if running the Daki Gyutaro would make Muzan more powerful. I know there is a Muzan list that did fairly well recently that I wanted to look at, but because I do really like the Demon Slayer Demons package, and yep, there comes Daki. The Daki Gyutaro, so good. We're gonna showcase some of that right here. I do have a couple of good bodies though. We end up getting a Zerkos Yuji off of the Daki, or the Gyutaro swing. Daki is gonna get blocked by Maki. Ooh, try saying that a couple times fast. We draw into another Gojo. I love these Gojos early game, but late game, I don't really want to see them. So we're gonna tap 1 to draw, just trying to find some more pieces, and we do have another Yuji Sukuna combo. So we are absolutely going to go ahead, draw 2, and see what we can do. We will discard the other finger. We have to at this point, and we end up drawing another finger. And my opponent was like, I thought this was the Nanami deck, dude. And I'm like, he's right back here on the back line. Excuse me. So we end up getting a color trigger again off of the Sukuna. And my opponent's going to take some time. He has characters in his trash now, and he is going to go ahead and play out Tio, I think. But as I said, this is his first time playing the demon deck, and that the person standing next to the table is the guy who runs the event, aka his brother, whose deck this is. So his brother and I are trying to tell him, no, take like lower 4 or something where you sideline it, you get to draw. You know, this card, the Tioni, I think is how I say it. It's not a bad card, but it's really good if you have like Muzan in the back line. But yeah, we think that we were telling him that we think that like lower 4, who is beautifully glared right there, and I think it's lower 4, is a better choice. So gonna go ahead and get another final out of life. I think that was a final at least. Looks like he took it to his hand, but and I'm gonna go ahead and poke with Yuji, and Yuji is gonna go ahead and Daki is gonna block, and then Daki comes back without the raid, which confused me. I had never seen this, so I'm reading the card. I will post a picture of the card right here so you guys can see it as well, and you guys can read along with me in the video, because yeah, the fact that, you know, she loses the raids, sure, but she can stay on board, pretty cool, honestly. And I definitely do like the way that plays. I feel like it's kind of on brand for Daki especially. So my opponent is at 1 life now. We are doing really well. I mean, just as I did mention, and I will say it again, this was his first time playing the deck, and he told me after the game that he saw that he had Purge in his hand and thought that was a 2-drop that could get him to 3 energy when he took the hand. So a little bit of a misplay on my opponent's part, but it happens to the best of us. So he's going to go ahead and play Daki on the front line. I believe that's the Daki that searches one sidelines, or push her up, excuse me. I think she was sitting on the back line. And yeah, tapping a 1 to play something out of his hand. We will see what in a second. But I do have my color Nanami in my hand, and I absolutely love that card. I feel like it's so good in the Nanami deck. This list is the list that I think won Bandai Card Fest. So really solid list. And yep, he's gonna go ahead and raid Daki. That is going to hurt a little bit. Oh, there's where his trash went. I was wondering. And going to tap another to play an energy in the back line there. And I think that is Daki. It looks like it's gonna let him search through his trash. I'm not super familiar with the demon cards in the Daki and Gyutaro deck. And I think he might be taking that back potentially. I'm a little bit lost on what he is doing, but oh, yep. Okay, so he's gonna play the Gyutaro and then raid a Gyutaro there. I'm gonna have to look at the sequencing there, but I'm feeling pretty confident at this point. So yeah, we are gonna go ahead and take this life, get the Nobara, which is gonna allow us to draw a card. Almost thought it was a get. We're just gonna take the Daki hit color trigger. We are going to go ahead and bounce the raid Daki to his hand. Granted, not my favorite color trigger, and definitely didn't need to, but yeah, 1 less swing. So we go ahead and we go ahead and block the last Daki swing with Yuji there. I called him Renji earlier. One of those pinkish red-haired anime protagonists, you know. And at this point, trying to decide what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to just treat this life. One thing that I've started doing is playing like that is a final in their life, and just trying to make sure that I am prepared in case that is a final and I don't, you know, throw. So we are going to go ahead, impact on Sukuna is going to get us the game there. So, yeah, we did have a special in our life, which is always nice to see. But yeah, I feel like we really did a good job there. It definitely does help that my opponent kind of got, you know, resource stalled, I guess. I think it was roughly a turn, but we were really able to capitalize on that and play out, you know, Yuji and Sukuna, and kind of just, even though it was only 1 turn, I feel like this deck is really good at going fast and aggressive. Yeah, I really love this Nanami deck, but it sometimes just doesn't feel as good as my Kurapika deck, and those are the only 2 decks I have right now. I have Muzan, but it's still built. I just think it's a little too slow. I might try tweaking it. And I also have a Stern Ridders deck, but it's not good. I have been trying to make it good for so long, and I am not the man to do it. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll post a Stern Ridders game if you guys want to see that, but I'm gonna be on these decks until One Punch Man. I just started reading One Punch Man, so I will be playing One Punch Man decks for sure. But yeah, that is gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, hit that like button down below. Helps me out more than you could ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.